Today we're going to do a step-by-step install of a stealth exhaust on a Sportster. You have to remove the pulley cover because the bracket bolts behind the pulley. She's got a kink in her, you know? Steve likes to throw in some little goodies. What else did you get?
We don't work on a lot of Sportsters around here because don't really give a shit about them, to be quite honest. This is the best motor that Harley Davidson ever made, hands down. When you put money into a Sportster, you're just throwing it away. People always say that the Sportster is a girl's bike. It's probably the worst bike for a female. Might just cut them off and make my own.
Good morning. Is that good? I'm just kidding. Good morning. My name's Trent. Today we're going to do a step-by-step install of a stealth exhaust on a Sportster. Out of all of these stealth exhaust videos that we have done on this channel, I do not think we have done one on a Sportster. It's a little more invasive. You have to remove the front pulley cover because the bracket bolts behind the pulley and all that good stuff. I'll show you when we get there, but other than that, pretty straightforward. Step one, get it on a lift. If you don't have a lift, put it on a jack. I mean, technically you could do this on the side stand or the kickstand, the jiffy stand, whatever you want to call it. But I prefer to have the bike sitting upright. And lifts are cool. You have a bunch of spider webs under this thing, June. Also, this is June's bike. For those that don't know, she's holding the camera back there, trying to not act excited. This is her motorcycle. She just got it. I think she likes it. I don't know. She just gave me a thumbs up. First step, which, okay, as you can tell, this doesn't have mufflers on it. Usually there's like 2 big mufflers and a bracket. Get the head pipes off the bike, step 1. Actually, that's step 2, because step 1 was get it on a lift or jack. It's real fresh in the morning. Which also, before you get too far ahead of yourself, fuel-injected bikes have O2 sensors, so you want to unplug those. Because forgetting to unplug them and getting everything unbolted and trying to pull it off the bike will not happen without the O2 sensors unplugged, if you can believe that. She's being stubborn. There we go. This is June's motorcycle. That is routed really nice. Ooh, you have a battery tender. Okay, back to the other side. She definitely sat outside for some bit of time, but the paint's clean. I really want to know what happened to the bike. That's like the worst part about getting bikes from auction is you don't really know what happened to them.
It was repoed. We know that.
Ooh, you are also missing a pulley bolt.
Holy shit, really?
Whoa, yeah. We'll put one of those in.
Pull that out and replace all of them.
Yeah.
That is pretty wild.
There's 2 half-inch bolts at the heads, like all Harleys. And then there's this one bracket for the rear head pipe that bolts it to the pulley cover. There's no bolt in there. It's just empty threads, I think, right?
Make sure she still looks good. Everything looks good. Loctite's still in there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like it hasn't been in there in a long time. This bike has like 0 miles on it too. That's like came straight out after he bought it at Harley Davidson. Sorry to interrupt this program, but we got a motorcycle sitting right here for one reason only. For every $5 you spend on cruisedeals.com, enters you in a chance to win this bad boy right here. Thank you.
Okay, so got the head pipe off. The battery was exhausted, so we missed that portion of it. But I mean, they come off like every other exhaust. So on Sportsters, the only difference is with these versus Dyna's, Baggers, Softails, you have to remove the pulley cover because the bracket bolts behind the pulley, as you can see with this bracket. So it's this, I think 5/16, maybe 3/8 bolt, 2 1/4-20s. That cover comes off. Yep, okay. I was hoping I could get away with not having to loosen the foot peg mount, but I'm gonna have to because it has to pull out and clear the pulley. So that's no big deal. It's just 2 bolts down here. Oh, what the f? Oh, this one's bent for sure. That one's straight. Yeah, the bolt's bent, watch.
It is.
She's got a kink in her, you know? You know, insert weird penis joke. She's got a nice kink in her. All right, just like that.
Very mature morning.
This comes off. Okay, so now you can see here, there's 1, 2, 3 Allen sockets. I'm pretty sure those are 3/8. They hold the bracket on.
Does this take it from it? You shouldn't do it yourself.
No, you can. You could do it yourself. Just do not pull this cover off. It's the cover behind the cam cover. If you pull this off, your whole cam chest and drivetrain's coming out with it. This cover has the outer bushings for the outer cam support bushings in it, so it's part of your cam chest. Do not pull that cover off. Pull your sprocket cover off. Note the size. There's a crack here. You can never be too sure. I've answered a lot of people's questions about things, so you have to really reiterate things for the internet. Tommy had a guy at the shop that he worked at actually it was a chick, I think, but tried to put on, I bet you do, but too bad because it was a chick. So I think she tried putting on an exhaust or tried putting something on and pulled this cover off, or like attempted to. And it's all like, the cams have the tension from the push rods on it with the whole valve train and shit. So it's like, it's pretty nasty stuff if you pull that off. Like, you'd have to force it off first, and then you would ruin a whole lot of things along the way. Just like that. Brackets off. Okay. Now, where's your stealth? Where's your exhaust?
She's over there in the box.
In the box still? All right. Ooh. If you haven't ordered a stealth exhaust either, Steve likes to throw in some little goodies. What else did you get? What? June got a little knife with her little exhaust.
Oh, it's real cute.
Yo, this is actually really cool. Look at this thing.
Oh my god, it's a baby knife.
I'm jealous of this thing. This thing's awesome. Yo, look what came in June's pipe.
What the?
Yeah.
That's mine. See that thing? And a little case?
Yeah, a little case, it's on a. That's hardcore, dude. I would wear that as a necklace.
Damn, the trinkets you get from Stealth, that is pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. You know what? In the meantime,
I think it's so funny. What is the tiny little knife for?
hook me up, dog.
I'm putting it on him like he's getting married, like he's a bridesmaid, and I'm putting his necklace on.
Bridesmaid? Why do we gotta go bridesmaid?
Because
I have hair.
it's the only time you really put on necklaces for other
Not very
people.
gender neutral. What?
Okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
In the meantime, I'm gonna wear it as a necklace while I install this stealth exhaust. But look at this shit.
Yeah, didn't I stand with a silver chain for that?
It's all like etched.
It says it.
I'm gonna hit up Steve. I'm pretty pissed off
So
about this
cute.
one.
That's pretty sick.
I'm like, hey, cocksucker, why don't we get cool shit with our shit?
We do every time.
Well, we get like,
Knives.
yeah, not knives. That's what I'm saying, Steve. You have some work to do. Anyway. Where's my knife?
You know what it is? It's just right here when it just goes, and you're like, you've gone too far, you cut the old artery and bleed out everywhere. When the zombies are coming in too thick, I ain't gonna make it, brother. I just take it down, man.
Wait a minute. I'm all looking for my knife to cut this.
God, you're gonna be here forever. It's like an elf knife.
I just need to cut some tape. Look at that. Beautiful.
Just leave the sheath off and just whip it around like this.
Like
See
a-
if you can cut stuff with it.
Like your
Like your f***ing ear or something? Yeah.
your own face.
Yeah. I'll cut the gauges right out of my f***ing ears with this. Yeah. Well, shit, Steve. Okay. So aside from this dope necklace knife, which I'm going to wear for the rest of this install, you get a cup and a bottle opener. Thanks, Steve. Okay, so it installs with the factory bolts. I guess reinstalls with the factory bolts, I should say. The factory one goes like up and around. The Stealth just has these 3 mounting points here. All right, once you get all the bracketry and all that stuff, well, actually, did we film me putting that bracket on? There's 3 mount bolts on the front for the Stealth, 2 3/8 bolts, and a 1/4 20. Bolted them in there. Then you want to get your O2 sensors off of your stock exhaust. Front and rear don't really matter. It's really just length. So if they're the same length, you could put them front and rear. It's just good practice to remember which one was front and rear. But in this case, the rear is longer than the front. So we're going to keep it that way. A lot of times they don't come off this easy. It helps to put like WD-40 or PB Blaster in there, because a lot of the times they get real hot and they weld themselves together. This is a fairly new bike, so they came out pretty easy, surprisingly. They're usually a MF'er to get off. Then, once you get those off, you grab your Stealth head pipe and put them in there. Also, Stealths come with exhaust flanges, which is super nice, because sometimes getting those off the factory exhaust is a pain in the ass also. I'll show you how you get them off. Now, again, you don't have to do this for a Stealth exhaust, but if you're not cool and not hip to it, you have another aftermarket exhaust, and you have to do this to them. So, grab some pliers, snap on preferably. Grab this guy. You're gonna grab it by one edge of the clip. Get a good space for you guys to, and just pull it off like that. And then they slide off. Again, if your pipe is hammered and old, a lot of times they are a MF'er to get off, but you just grab one corner. You want to grab the corner of it too, and then just pull it off the ridge. And she pops right off. There you go. Ta-da! Just like that.
It was good to save those too for down the road, even if you don't use them.
Okay.
...2007 to like 2012, I think, was the big O2 sensors, but they were not wideband O2 sensors. They were
Gotcha.
just big-ass O2 sensors.
So when they went to CAN bus.
They went to CAN bus, they just went to a smaller O2 sensor, yeah. But they're still both narrowband O2 sensors. Wideband is like the shit you go to the Thunder Max with a big old plug, like what we're putting on the Harley Terminator X system over there right now.
Gotcha. So yeah,
those are different.
yeah. So you're basically just reducing the hole size for the small O2 sensors.
It's a thin dick.
Real thin.
Why are them O2 stand-ups so tall?
I don't have an answer for you, Ryan.
Right you are, Ken. Probably because it has to drive it back out past the frame works back there, and actually get it away from the bolt quite a bit better. Man, I bet that back bolt's going to be a good time. I haven't worked on a Sportster in a long time. They can hear me from Trent. I don't have a microphone, so I sound timid and weak in the voice. But we don't work on a lot of Sportsters around here because they don't really give a shit about them, to be quite honest.
Don't let her hear you say.
Well, the ones that care about them really fucking care about them.
Oh, I know, man. Sportster guys out there. I think it's like the old, I couldn't afford a Dyna, so I bought a Sportster, and now I'm going to stand by it true and true.
This is my whole personality.
Yep, I'm a Sportster guy. Which, this is the best motor that Harley Davidson ever made, hands down. This is the most quality, best running, best performing motor Harley Davidson ever made.
You're gonna piss off a lot of Evo guys with that statement. My fucking big twin Evo.
This is an Evo. This is still an Evo motor. It's a 4-cam Evo motor. It's a superior setup. You can make a shitload of power. And until like the V-Rod came out and shit, all the NHRA drag bikes were Sportster motors that were just gigantic. It was all 4-cam motors so you guys can hear me, because I'm not doing this type of shit today. I'm working on a car, so I don't have a microphone. The Sportster motor will go 100,000 miles as long as you change the oil in it. They are phenomenal, and they last. Unlike, the other guys that kind of 50, 60,000 is a pretty good time for a rebuild. But me, I'm kind of a husky kind of guy, so you see me on a Sportster, it looks f***ing ridiculous. You see me on a Softail, it looks ridiculous. So I don't ever ride them. They are a lot of fun, and we have built some nasty Sportsters, and we have had a lot of you guys ask us to do a Sportster build. Which the problem with that is when you put money into a Sportster, you're just throwing it away. They don't hold any value. There's no return. There's no
You can't sell a Sportster for 10 grand.
Yeah, and if we go put $10,000 in shit on a Sportster and build a $20,000 Sportster, we're gonna get $5,500 for it, no matter what, when the time comes back around. So maybe if you want somebody who has the money and wants to throw their own money at their own Sportster and have us build it for them, and we could do a build on one, then we would do that. But I'm not investing any money in a Sportster. Questions answered.
There you go. Once you get the O2 sensors in the pipe, it is time to put it on the motorcycle. Install is pretty straightforward. It's like every other exhaust. If you have your lovely assistant help you route the O2.
Ryan White, Vanna White.
Oh wow, this. Ooh, hang on.
This will be a nice bike. They also, if you can hear me, people always say that a Sportster, it's a girl's bike. I would probably go with the front first, and you're probably going to have to take this shit off. Oh, she's pretty loose. Just slide that up in the hole. There you go. Get a good amount of, well, you're on the stud.
Yeah, but hang on. Oh.
There it is. There
Well,
it
yeah,
is.
but then look where it jams the O2 sensor into.
Probably have to put the O2 sensors in after you have the exhaust in.
There's no way I'm getting a fucking wrench in there. It's the standoff itself that's a motherfucker.
That thing?
No, this thing.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know why they made them so aggressive.
It just jams it right in this fucking hole.
I think that once it's in there, it's going to put it into a nice place. I'll take the O2 sensors out and try and put it in. Or even take the whole thing out. And get into my speaking stance. People always say that the Sportster is a girl's bike. Oh, that's a girl's bike. Well, that's absolute bullshit, because the Sportster is probably the worst bike for a female. I think girls always get them because they're lighter and smaller, but the seating position is the highest seating position that Harley Davidson has on any one of their bikes, which doesn't make sense, for the average woman is considerably shorter than the average man. So you don't have like the inseam or the long legs to step down. You really want a shorter seating position. An easier bike for a female to ride is always going to be a Softail. Softails were designed with the female in mind because they have the lower seating stance. It's a low cut seat, lowest seat you're going to get. The center of gravity is all in the bottom of the bike too, so it's a lot easier to balance, a lot easier to maneuver. The Sportster was designed for flat track racing originally. This was a hot rod. It was made to be Harley Davidson's Shredder. This was their sport bike when it first came out in the 70s or 50s,
right?
50s,
Yeah.
Whenever the hell a Sportster came out. I don't follow Sportsters, but they are more of a hot rod, built to be a shredder. Great stunt bike if you're building like a big sprocket handbrake blaspheme Harley stunt bike. It is a great bike to do that with. Great bike to flat track race, great bike to road race, great bike to drag race. Not a great bike to road trip on because, let's face it, they only do about 75 miles an hour wound out, but
You only get like 50 miles of the gallon too.
out of a tank.
This fucking thing doesn't fit at all, dude.
Man, we have done a bunch of these. We did Richards. The OG one was built on Richards.
But it didn't have those crazy standoffs.
Might just cut them off and make my own.
Like even it just jams it right into the starter. Okay, we took a little break. It's a really tight fit with the O2 sensor standoffs that are on this pipe. So I had to kind of wrestle it, and then if you remember the video on the M8 Softail where I put that stealth pipe on that, you could kind of walk the pipe in with the head studs. You don't just like tighten them up. You could kind of walk it in. So I kind of had to do some finagling to get everything to line up proper, as far as like the muffler bracket and this header bracket down here. So you kind of just want to, you know, these bottom two head studs will draw the pipe in. These ones will bring it back out. So you kind of just want to walk it around, do a lot of finagle, finesse, and dicking with it. You got to dick with it a lot. So we got her in. Now let's see if we can get O2 sensors in it. That's the other thing, because this is a really tight fit. Yeah, so I had to pull the O2 sensors out of the head pipe for it to clear. And then now I'm threading them back in, hopefully. Which is proving to be quite a cocksucker, I'm gonna be honest. There we go. Okay, so I got the O2 sensors back in the pipe, snugged up, got all the lines ran, pretty much how they were factory. I'm gonna try and clean this up a little bit, which it's hard because there's just a bundle of plugs right there, but that came factory like that. Get this guy back up in there. I got the master mechanic here, double checking the fitment and everything. How are we looking, Ryan?
Clear as can.
Right on, Ryan. Back to the install. All right. I got the okay from the boss man. Now, pretty much the reverse order of taking everything apart. Make sure everything is snugged up and proper. I need to get a new bolt for this guy because it was bent. But gonna put this back on, maybe. Come on, you f***er. And just, you know, with a nice gentle push, she bolts right up. Okay, that's not that guy, it's this guy. Then Loctite, I put blue on these because it's not a critical fastener. Blue on stuff that's not gonna kill you, red on stuff that might kill you if it comes off, except for the stuff you're not supposed to Loctite. If you don't know what that is, don't work on your motorcycle. And buy a service manual, man. A lot of questions we get and a lot of like tech tips and stuff that we get or learn, you can get it right out of a service manual, you know? Like, so when you ask us all these questions and stuff, we immediately know you don't know what the hell you're doing by the question. Fun fact. Come on, you f***er. I just noticed something. I will show you in 1 second when I get this all taken back apart. So one of the 3 mount points for the bracket is shared by the cover. So you don't thread that guy in. That guy comes off, and that actually sits behind this guy. So it bolts, it sandwiches in. So it's on. The exhaust is on the bike. It was a motherfucker to put on there. We had to like do a whole bunch of finagling and finessing, but she's on, she fits. It's honestly my favorite looking pipe. I like the way like the head pipes, like the way they bend up and they tuck real nice and tight. The muffler has a little kick up too. Final step to any exhaust install also, I got distracted there. Wipe it down. When you're putting this on, all the oil in your hands and all that sticks to the pipe. As soon as you start it up, you're gonna see a bunch of fingerprints. And we don't like fingerprints here, you know? The feds can track you that way. Just kidding. I don't break the law. It's a super tight fit. The O2 sensor's barely clear, but they do. Everything's fine. Everything's beautiful. Now I need to pull that rear wheel off because she was missing a pulley bolt, which is quite peculiar. So I'm gonna pull the rear wheel off. I'm gonna take all these out and put fresh ones in because we're not hacks and we do things the right way. And that's an important fastener. You know, I'm talking about the ones that kill you and ones that don't. That fastener could hurt you real bad. So pull it out, put fresh shit in there, redo the wheel alignment, and send her down the road. I'll be back. Okay, so I got the new bolts put in June's pulley here. Belt deflection and alignment have been done. You could find out how to do those in a service manual. But exhaust is done. That's all buttoned up. Kind of did a little basic walk around just to see what else it needs. And it's pretty dialed right now. So I'm gonna pull her down. We're gonna give her a start up so you guys can hear it. Really, so June can hear it too. She's really excited, chomping at the bit. She won't leave us alone, really. So, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'm gonna pull it down, give her a wipe down, and give her a start. June's about to be riding through this world. Let's get her outside, hopefully. Yep. All right. Are you ready? Do we have any sound clips before we... I think there's a sound clip somewhere. We'll pair that with this. Let's see how she sounds. Okay, ready? It no longer sounds like a tractor. Sounds good.
Thanks, Trent.
It looks good. I really like the raw and the black and the white and all that. And there you go. There you have it. Stealth pipe install. I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. It's about a 3 wrench install out of 5. You need to have at least 3 wrenches under your belt. You could find this exhaust and many others like it at KruesiOriginals.com. Every $5 you spend gets you a free entry into win a 2005 Dyna also. I'm sure there'll be a commercial about it either right now or throughout the video. Tell your mom I said hi.